and welcome back to our next video. This time we're going to hopefully finish this one by being in Leicester. We'll see how we get on. We left Crick quite early this morning. I mean, it's a really popular place to moor up. I'm not entirely sure why. There's a small co-op and a post office that shuts very early. Not much else there really, but people seem to really like it there. So we just came down this morning to Yelvertoft, which is just a mile or two down the canal, and we discovered the most fantastic butcher and delicatessen. This is what it's like.
In the oven as it cooled down.
Yeah.
So she put a whole tray of them in. What she used to do, put the lamb shanks in paper bags, which you make out of greaseproof, tie them up at the top like the Italians do for pasta, and then she put them in the oven overnight as it cooled down, and they were the most succulent things in the world.
He couldn't do enough for us. He made me 4 chicken carcasses by taking all the chicken off the bone while I was there. He told us all about his food, really good quality stuff. He delivers to boats on the canal if you walk 3 words in between Braunston, Crick, Yelvertoft, that sort of area. A real pleasure, a real gentleman, very nice to meet him. And he used to live above a butcher's in Victoria Park, where we've just been, the Ginger Pig. So it was just a really nice conversation. A half-hour journey took us about 2 hours in the end, but we've come back with supplies because there's nothing much between here and Leicester. And in Leicester I think there's a really big market, so I'm looking forward to stocking up with fruit and vegetables in particular. Not had a peach or anything yet this year, so yeah, I've got a bit of a craving for some soft fruit. Anyway, this arm is beautiful. It's quiet, narrow, very rural, just what the doctor ordered. Up bright and early this morning to get ourselves up the Foxton flight, which I think is the longest, steepest flight of locks on the system. And we wanted to get up there quite early because I think it's one up and one down, so it might take a while. So we're just going to stop for some breakfast and gird our loins. What a lovely sculpture. Well, it's breakfast on the go as we line up for the first of the locks. It's very exciting, and there's a fantastic view from the top, so I'll film it as we go down. Oh, here we go. Have you finished your coffee? World's here. Thank you. Thank you.
I just looked out the window and I was like, oh, that's different. I love it.
Yeah, we wanted very untraditional.
Yeah, it's great. Things one sort of different.
Cheerful.
Yeah.
taken me a while to figure out how these locks work, because in the normal scheme of things you would think one boat down and one boat up, so that, you know, it's more efficient the use of water. But the top lock here is fed by a reservoir, so it's continually filling once the doors are shut, so boats can come down in sequence. So there's 3 or 4 of us coming down, and then once they build up at the bottom they'll bring 3 or 4 up. So it's a completely different way of working the locks than standard. Generally speaking, in a lock I like to rope the boat up and hold it onto the side, switch the engine off, which you can't really do in these ones because everything's moving quite fast. But the reason for that is you're going down, as you can see, into a brick pit, and you're just breathing in the diesel fumes all the time. So if I switch the engine off, then I have 15 minutes of not breathing in the fumes, and the engine's not running and you're not burning fuel. But in this case I'll make an exception. Oh, and I meant to say, the reason you do that is because when you open the front paddles, the boat gets pushed back, and then as the boat comes under the water and up the back, it pushes it forward, so you have to control it, otherwise you're smashing into the lock gates. And then the other thing that can happen, if you open a paddle on the same side as the boat, then it can push the nose of the boat over and then smack it against the other wall if you're in a double lock. And obviously you don't want your paintwork scratched off all the time. So that's why you have to hold the boat steady. Most people do it with their engine, but I don't know, I think it's a bit of a waste of fuel really. I'm going to see if I can get the camera up the front and film from the front of the boat. Thank you. Well, after all that excitement, we're back in the rural countryside, and we're shortly coming up to Debdale Marina, where I've heard they sell HVO diesel, and although we topped up last week, we're going to try and squeeze some in, because I'd really like to run the boat on HVO, and as far as I know there's only 2 marinas selling it, and this is one of them. You can mix it with your other diesel and it burns with far less particulates, and I really wish it was more available. Just have to see how much it is, because it's going to be more expensive. But oh, it's for sale. Pretty. Oh, here we are, Debdale Wharf. That was disappointing. They don't do HVO, and apparently North Kilworth have stopped doing HVO as well. Bit of a backward step. I was hoping more marinas were going to be selling it. Very disappointed. Well, we're just started off on our last couple of days into Leicester, but we've got to the first lock and there's a man coming this way who's single-handed and grounded. So Henry's letting some water down. The trouble is, this year there's been no significant rainfall, and today is going to be the hottest day of the year, so the situation isn't improving. And we may have to adapt our plans for the rest of the summer, because already one of the canals we were due to go on has been closed. Rain is what we need. He's nearly floating. Right, well the plan is to fill this lock up and we'll come into it, and he's hoping that a whole lock of water at once will float him off the bank, because he's well stuck there. Well, it looked like our cunning plan worked. He's floating, and we're going to let him come into the lock before we go out so that we don't run the risk of getting grounded ourselves. Oops, he's poling off from the other side now. Oh, it's all good fun. No, you'll be fine now.
We can turn around and walk down there. We're stuck in that and all.
Alright, I'm going to stay firmly in the middle and go slowly. We've got something around our prop as well. And all this before breakfast. We've decided to check the weed hatch in the lock pounds. Oh, what's that? Oh, a pair of pink fishnet. This section of the Leicester arm coming up to Blaby on the Grand Union, it's like going through a pond. It's really low, full of water lilies, and the reeds back there, there was just barely room to get through. Honestly, the Basingstoke's got nothing on this bit. Well, that was a challenge and no mistake, but we're hoping that this is our last lock. And we're going to look for somewhere to moor up for the day, because it is really hot. I'm covered in suntan lotion. But look what we just found at the last lock. Don't mind a hard day if you get a bowl of cherries at the end. Well, that's it for this video. We haven't made Leicester. We should get there tomorrow. And then straight on really to Nottingham. We are going to spend maybe 2 nights in Leicester, and then straight on to Nottingham, because we're on a bit of a schedule to do the tidal Trent, which will be in a couple of videos time. And we're just having to work around the rail strike at the moment for various reasons. So we'll see you on the next one. I've had some really lovely comments lately, so thanks for that. I really like it when people comment on the videos. It's nice to talk to other people out there, and even from America, that's great. So do feel free to comment and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. So bye for now.